You ever feel like you're doing everything right, working hard, staying loyal, showing up, but somehow you're still exhausted, like something is draining you, even when nothing's wrong on the surface? That's not just tiredness, that's misplaced energy. That's your spirit quietly telling you you're giving too much of yourself to things that don't deserve you. See, life doesn't just ask for your time, it asks for your energy. And where you give that energy determines everything: your peace, your growth, your future. And the truth is, most people are leaking energy every single day into places that give them nothing back. People chasing approval from the wrong crowd. People replaying mistakes they can't undo. People trying to fix what isn't theirs to fix. And all the while, their fire's dying out, slowly, silently. But let me tell you something that might just shift the whole game. You don't need more energy, you need to stop wasting it. The strongest people aren't the loudest in the room. They're the ones who've learned the discipline of focus. They've learned how to protect their peace like it's gold, because it is. They've stopped entertaining foolishness. They've stopped showing up for battles that don't lead to victory. And that's not selfish. That's wisdom. This message isn't about working harder. It's about becoming sharper, smarter, stronger in silence. It's about learning the 5 places where your energy goes to die, so you can stop bleeding and start building. Because this life is war, and every ounce of energy you give to the wrong thing is one less weapon in your fight to become everything you were born to be. So if you're tired of feeling drained, tired of spinning your wheels, tired of pouring into things that leave you empty, then lean in. This isn't hype. This is clarity. And clarity is what separates the powerful from the distracted. It's time to stop giving your energy away like it's cheap. It's time to guard your focus like your life depends on it. Because it does. There comes a point when you have to stop begging people to see you. Stop hoping they'll treat you better. Stop shrinking yourself just to stay accepted in spaces where you were never truly appreciated. The truth is, your energy is a currency, and when you spend it on people who don't value you, you're making the most expensive investment in the cheapest stock. Too many people are worn out, not from the weight of life itself, but from constantly pouring into people who never intended to pour back, from showing up for folks who only clap when it benefits them, from giving loyalty to those who never even offered respect. And the most dangerous part, we call that love. We call that being real, but that's not real. That's reckless. That's energy theft in disguise. You don't owe anyone your peace. You don't owe anyone your strength, your light, your kindness if they keep spitting on it. You weren't put on this earth to fix broken people who don't want to heal. You're not here to babysit someone's ego while yours is starving. And let's be honest, some people only love you when they can control you. When your fire is dim enough not to threaten their shadows. The moment you start glowing brighter, growing stronger, choosing yourself, they go silent, or worse, they get hostile. That's your sign. See, the problem is not always that people don't value you, it's that you haven't yet decided to stop giving them that power. You keep giving and giving, thinking that eventually they'll see your worth. But the truth is, some people will never see your worth because they're committed to misunderstanding it. And you've been giving energy to ghosts, to hollow words, to empty promises. It's time to unplug. You don't have to announce it. You don't have to make a speech. Just stop feeding the bond. Stop calling when the phone never rings back. Stop explaining your heart to people committed to breaking it. Silence is power. Distance is clarity. When you remove your energy from the wrong people, you make room for the right ones. And more importantly, you make room for yourself. Because when you spend all your time chasing someone's approval, you forget what it feels like to approve of yourself. You forget how powerful you are when you're not bending, not filtering, not begging. You start to believe their lack of appreciation is a reflection of your value. But that's the lie. Your value isn't proven by how many people stick around. It's proven by how much you're willing to walk away from. Start protecting your energy like it's sacred, because it is. It's the fuel for your purpose, the fire behind your vision. Don't let people drain it with their drama, their silence, their manipulations, or their inconsistency. Let them go, not out of anger, not out of revenge, but out of self-respect. And don't feel guilty for it. That guilt, that's a trick. That's the voice of a version of you who still thinks they have to earn love by suffering. who still believes their worth comes from how much they tolerate. But you're done with that now. You're done being the battery for people who refuse to charge themselves. You're done trying to keep people in your life who only show up when it's convenient for them. It's not your job to convince anyone of your worth. It's your job to know it and protect it. Some people are lessons, others are blessings. Know the difference, because when you finally start valuing your energy, your peace, your presence, something beautiful happens. You stop chasing and you start attracting. You stop explaining and you start elevating. So let them think what they want. Let them talk. Let them leave. Let them misunderstand. None of it matters, because from now on, your energy isn't up for negotiation. You're not desperate. You're not lost. You're not broken. You're just done pouring into cups that were never meant to hold you. And that right there, that's growth. That's power. That's peace. You can't change what's already done. No matter how deeply you wish, no matter how many nights you lie awake replaying it, what happened, happened. The past isn't a door you can reopen. It's not a wound you can uncut. And yet so many people live there, stuck in moments, trapped in regrets, haunted by what they should have said, what they should have done, who they should have been. That's where their energy goes, not into building a better tomorrow, but into fighting a battle that ended years ago. You have to understand, the past doesn't need your energy. It already took enough from you the first time. Why let it steal from you twice? Every time you go back mentally to that failure, that heartbreak, that betrayal, you're handing over today's strength to a ghost. You're bleeding in the present because you refuse to stop picking at the scab of yesterday. And the worst part, you're calling that healing. But healing doesn't come from revisiting what broke you. It comes from releasing it. Let it go. That doesn't mean forget. That doesn't mean pretend it didn't hurt. But it does mean you stop giving it your focus. You stop letting it define you. You stop living like your future has to pay for your past. Because it doesn't. You don't owe your mistakes another second of your energy. You don't owe your former self another moment of shame. The only thing you owe is effort. Effort to grow. Effort to move. Effort to become something better than what you were. People say the past builds character. That's true. But only when you stop letting it control your direction. If you're still anchored to who you were, you'll never become who you could be. You have to cut that rope. You have to stop trying to edit a chapter that's already been published. The story has moved on, and if you're still trying to fix the ending of page 10, you're going to miss the brilliance of page 20.
You made mistakes? Good.
That means you tried. You trusted the wrong people? Good. That means you had a heart. You failed publicly? Good. That means you were brave enough to be seen. Stop shaming your past. Start saluting it, because everything you've been through wasn't meant to punish you. It was meant to prepare you. You learned things in the dark you could have never learned in the light. You gained strength in the silence that no crowd could ever teach you. You found your fight not in the victory, but in the loss. That's where you were forged. And if you can't be proud of the past, at least be proud of the fact that you survived it. But now, it's time to stop living like a survivor and start living like a warrior. Warriors don't stare at the battlefield long after the war is over. They clean their wounds, they learn the lesson, and they move on. Because they know one truth that most never grasp. The longer you hold on to the past, the more you poison your future. So stop wasting your energy trying to fix what cannot be undone. That apology you never got, let it go. That moment you froze, it's over. That opportunity you missed, it's not coming back. But guess what? Another one is, and you better be ready for it. You better be present for it, because the future doesn't wait for people who are busy grieving their old selves. Forgive yourself. For real. Forgive them too, not because they deserve it, but because you do. You deserve peace. You deserve clarity. You deserve to look forward without constantly tripping over what's behind you. This isn't about forgetting your story. It's about refusing to stay stuck in one chapter. The story keeps going, and so must you. You're not who you were, and that's the point. So stop staring in the rear view. Stop driving your life in reverse. What's behind you already served its purpose. And now it's time to take everything you learned, everything you felt, everything you've endured, and use it to build something greater. Not as a prisoner of your past, but as a product of your growth. Because your power has never been back there. It's always been in front of you, waiting for you to finally turn around and claim it. There is no greater drain on your spirit than trying to prove your worth to someone who has already made up their mind not to see it. You could climb mountains for them, bleed for them, shine bright in every room, and still they'll act like you're invisible. Not because you aren't enough, but because they've chosen not to see you. That's a decision they made. And here you are, trying to change it, trying to dance for people who never even heard the music. That's not strength, that's self-neglect. Let this be the truth you stop running from. Some people are blind to your value because they want to be. No matter how much you achieve, how kind you are, how loyal you remain, they will still find a way to minimize you. They will still pick you apart. And the more you bend, trying to fit into their idea of enough, the more you break. Every second you spend trying to earn their approval is energy stolen from your purpose. You were not made to shrink for anyone's comfort. You were not made to beg for recognition. You were made to build. You were made to move. And you can't do that with both hands full of insecurity, chasing after people who never had the eyes to see your greatness. The truth is, most people don't recognize real until it's gone, until it's elevated, until it's too far above for them to reach. That's when they suddenly remember your name. That's when they say they always believed in you. But don't you wait for that. Don't you live for that. If they couldn't see you at your quietest, they don't deserve you at your loudest. If they couldn't respect your struggle, they shouldn't benefit from your success. You don't owe anyone an explanation. You don't owe anyone a performance. You owe yourself peace. You owe yourself progress. Let your work speak. Let your growth be the response. Let your absence be the reminder. Because sometimes, silence is the loudest message you can send. Understand this, the people who are meant for you won't need convincing. They'll feel your energy. They'll respect your presence. They'll celebrate your wins without jealousy and stand by you without conditions. That's your tribe. The rest, background noise. Don't waste energy fighting to be heard by those who have their ears closed. And let's go deeper. Why are you trying so hard to prove yourself in the first place? Is it because you never felt seen growing up? Because someone important to you dismissed your worth early on? Because you learned to attach your value to performance, to validation, to applause? You've got to heal that. You've got to unlearn that. Because until you do, you'll keep handing your power to people who treat it like it's disposable. Your value doesn't increase based on who notices you. Your value isn't up for debate. It's constant. It's rooted. It's unshakable. Once you decide it is, stop outsourcing your self-worth. Stop chasing acceptance like it's oxygen. You don't need their recognition to rise. You just need your own belief to grow. Some people won't see you until they need something from you. Others won't see you at all because they're too busy looking at themselves. Either way, you don't have time to chase shadows. You have work to do. You have goals to meet. You have a life to build that doesn't run on their approval, but on your own commitment to becoming who you were meant to be. Walk forward, quietly, confidently. Let them wonder. Let them watch. But don't slow down. Don't look back. And for God's sake, don't dim your light to make their eyes more comfortable. If they've already decided not to see you, that's their loss. If you finally decided to stop proving yourself, that's your freedom. There's a silent killer of purpose that most people don't talk about. It's not laziness. It's not fear. It's wasted energy on things you can't control. The things outside your reach, the weather, the economy, other people's opinions, their choices, their attitudes, the past, the unknown future. These are the arenas where people lose themselves, not because they're weak, but because they're distracted, drained, drowning in what ifs and how comes instead of building with what is. You can't move forward if all your energy is tied to things that don't answer to you. You can't fight every storm. You can't fix every person. And yet, day after day, people waste their strength trying to change things that were never in their hands to begin with. They get mad at the world for not bending to their will. They get anxious about every outcome they can't predict. They get paralyzed, not from a lack of power, but from placing their power in the wrong places. Let me be clear. Control is not power. Self-control is. You don't win in life by manipulating the world. You win by mastering yourself, your reactions, your focus, your consistency. That's the only territory that truly belongs to you. That's the only fight worth giving your full energy to. Because everything else, it's noise, it's wind, it's distraction wrapped in drama, dressed up like it matters. You want to be free? Then let go of what you were never meant to carry. The opinions of people who don't live your life, Drop them. The pressure to be perfect in a world full of chaos, let it go. The idea that you have to control every step, every twist, every turn before you move, that's the chain around your ankle. Break it. See, the need for control comes from fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of pain. But control is an illusion. You can't always control the situation, but you can always control how you stand in it. You can control your breath, your discipline, your response. That's where your energy belongs. That's your power zone. Because when you spend your life reacting to what's beyond you, you give away your strength piece by piece. You give anxiety a throne. You give frustration a voice. And you wonder why you feel empty, tired, burnt out, when the truth is, you've been fighting battles that never had your name on them. Start checking your energy bills. Ask yourself, is this mine to fix? Is this mine to carry? Is this mine to control? And if the answer is no, release it. With peace, with maturity, with the understanding that you have more important things to do than try to fix storms that don't care about your umbrella. Focus on your growth, on your craft, on your character, on your calling, because those are the things that actually move the needle in your life. Not politics, not gossip, not the opinions of your ex, your boss, or strangers on the internet, not the pain of the past or the fears of the future. What matters is the effort you're giving right now. What matters is whether you're feeding your focus or draining it with distraction. You don't get stronger by controlling the world. You get stronger by learning to stay centered when the world spins wild around you. So the next time life throws chaos your way, remember this. You don't have to control the storm. Just control how you show up in it. Your calm is your weapon. Your clarity is your armor. Your discipline is your shield. Protect them, master them. And don't you dare waste them on anything outside your command. Energy is not infinite. Spend it where it counts. And if it doesn't answer to you, it doesn't deserve your power. Nothing will drain your soul faster than living a life that doesn't belong to you. A life built on expectations instead of vision. A life shaped by fear instead of faith. When you wake up every day, putting on a mask just to make the world comfortable, just to keep the peace, just to feel accepted, you're not living. You're performing. You're existing inside a box that was never meant to hold your fire. And eventually, it burns you out. You see, too many people are tired, not because they're doing too much, but because they're doing the wrong things, saying yes to things that don't align, running after dreams that were never their own, working jobs they hate, staying in relationships that drain them, chasing approval from people they don't even respect, all because they were told that's what success looks like, all because someone else wrote the script and they never stopped to question it. But let me tell you something that might shake your whole perspective. Living for someone else's version of success is the quickest way to fail your own soul. When you live a life that isn't yours, it shows. You start to lose your voice. You forget your own dreams. You stop trusting your gut. You become a watered-down version of who you were meant to be. And every day feels like a silent war between who you are and who you're pretending to be. And here's the thing. The world is perfectly fine with you being a copy. It loves when you fit the mold, follow the rules, keep your head down, and never ask too many questions. But you weren't built for that. You weren't born to blend in. You were born to break molds, not live inside of them. You were born with a unique rhythm, a divine assignment, a fire that no one else has, and every second you spend trying to imitate someone else's path, you betray your own. It's not about rebellion. It's about alignment. Because when you're not aligned with who you really are, even success feels empty. You can have the money, the status, the followers, the applause, and still wake up feeling hollow. Because deep down, you know you're off track. You know you traded your truth for acceptance, and that trade will always leave you in debt. You want your energy back? Take your identity back. Strip away the labels. Forget the timelines. Stop asking for permission. The people you're trying to impress aren't even thinking about you. The world doesn't need another polished product. It needs someone bold enough to be real, someone brave enough to say, this is who I am, this is what I believe, this is what I'm building. That kind of truth, that kind of self-ownership, it gives you a power most people will never understand. Because most people are too afraid to let go of the mask. They're too afraid of being misunderstood, being judged, being different. But listen closely, different isn't wrong. Different is destiny. and you will never fulfill yours if you keep following someone else's path. You don't owe the world conformity. You owe it authenticity. You owe it the best version of you, not the version you think is most acceptable, not the version that fits neatly into someone else's box, but the version that sets your soul on fire, that makes you feel alive, that creates not just success, but significance. So stop wasting your energy living a life that was never yours to begin with. That job you hate, that lifestyle you're faking, that image you're maintaining, if it doesn't feed your soul, it's starving your spirit. You weren't made to just survive, you were made to thrive, but only in the truth of who you really are. Choose alignment over approval. Choose authenticity over acceptance. Choose a life that belongs to you, even if it means walking alone for a while. Because in the end, the cost of living someone else's life is everything you were meant to be in your own. And that is a price too high to pay. At some point, you have to look yourself in the mirror and ask, where is my energy going? Because the truth is, life doesn't just drain you, it demands your direction. And when your energy is scattered, so is your power, so is your peace, so is your purpose.
You can't afford to keep bleeding into places that don't grow you. You can't keep feeding what doesn't feed you back. You are not a machine, you're a force. A living, breathing force with a fire that deserves to be protected, not poured out recklessly into dead ends. Don't waste it on people who don't value you. Don't waste it grieving a past that can't be rewritten. Don't waste it proving yourself to those who refuse to see. Don't waste it trying to control what was never yours to hold. And don't you ever waste it living a life that doesn't even belong to you. You've only got so much time, so much strength, so much life. Make it count. Because once you stop wasting your energy, you start building momentum. You start walking in clarity. You start becoming unshakable. Not because life got easier, but because you got focused. So from this day forward, protect your energy like your life depends on it. Because it does. And when the world asks what changed, how you moved so fast, how you became so solid, so grounded, so powerful, just smile and say, I stopped wasting energy on what wasn't mine and started investing it into who I was born to become.